You got promoted. Now you have a week, maybe two, before you walk in as the boss. Most people spend that time nervous and doing nothing. Big mistake. In the military, there's no such thing as figuring it out when you get there. Every leader runs a pre-command checklist before they assume command. Not because the military is bureaucratic, although it kind of is sometimes, but because experience has proven over and over again that leaders who prepared before day one hit the ground running. The leaders who didn't spent the first month catching up, and some of them never did. I'm going to give you that checklist. 7 specific things to do before your first day so you walk in with a plan instead of a prayer. Before I get in, drop in the comments. What's your first day as a manager? What has it been like? Here's what most new managers do in the window between getting promoted and actually starting. They think about how they want to be perceived. They rehearse what they might say in their first team meeting. They maybe look over some old files and they wait. The problem is that perception starts forming before you open your mouth. Your team has already heard things. The people above you are already watching, and that first 2 weeks will create a mental model of you. In your team's heads, in your boss's head, that will define how every future interaction gets interpreted. You don't get a clean slate on day one. You get the impression you've created in the window before it, and right now that window is open. The pre-command period isn't rest time. It's intelligence gathering, relationship mapping, and preparation. Do this right, and day one isn't the beginning, it's the execution of a plan you already built. If you're finding this useful, hit the like and subscribe button. I publish practical leadership content every week, specifically for managers who got promoted without a manual. It's free, it takes 2 seconds. Now let's get to your checklist. 7 items. Some take 30 minutes, some take a conversation. All of them matter. I'll tell you what to do and exactly why it matters, because understanding the reasoning is the difference between going through the motions and actually getting the outcome. Item 1, map the people before you map the work. Get the org chart, get the names and roles. But that's the floor, not the goal. The goal is to understand the informal structure. Who has influence that doesn't show up in their title? Who's been there longest and shapes the culture? Who's the quiet one who everyone goes to for the real answer? You won't learn this from a spreadsheet, you learn it from conversations. Before day one, have brief, informal calls with as many of your direct reports as possible, 15 minutes each. Not evaluation conversations, listening conversations. Tell me what's working, tell me what's frustrating, tell me what you'd want your new manager to know going in. 2 things happen when you do this. First, you get intelligence that would otherwise take months to surface. Second, you signal, I wanted to know what you thought before I started making calls. That earns more credibility than your first month of decisions will. Item 2, know what your team is already responsible for delivering. Before you have any opinions about strategy or changes or better ways to do things, know what the team is currently on the hook for. What are the active projects? What are the deadlines? What's been promised to whom? You cannot credibly lead people who know more about the current state than you do. And you absolutely cannot walk in and talk about the future when you don't understand the present. Get this from your manager. Get it from the files. Get it from the conversations you had in item 1. By day 1, you should know what's due, what's stuck, and what's on fire, even before you've officially taken charge. Item 3, get your boss on record about what success looks like. This one gets skipped constantly because it feels awkward. You're excited about the new role, they're excited you took it, and nobody wants to have the "what exactly do you need from me" conversation. Have it anyway. Ask directly, what does good look like at 90 days? What are the 1 or 2 things that, if I get them right, will make this role a clear success? What would concern you most in the first few months? This does 2 things. It gives you a scorecard so you're not guessing, and it gives you protection because when you know what they actually care about, you can't accidentally succeed on the wrong metric while failing on the one they were watching. Item 4, find the landmines before you step on them. Every team has history, a reorganization that went badly, a project that failed and left resentment, a person who feels they deserve the role that you just got, a process everyone hates but nobody's fixed because it's politically complicated. You need to know these things before they surprise you. Ask trusted people. What do I need to know that nobody's going to tell me? Where are the bodies buried? What blew up in the last year and how was it left? People will tell you more than you expect if you ask genuinely. And knowing where the landmines are is the difference between stepping on one in week 1 and navigating around it. Item 5. Decide in advance how you're going to run things. Not every detail, but the core operating principles. How will you run your one-on-ones? How do you want people to bring you problems? What's your expectation around communication when something goes sideways? Decide these before day 1 so you're not improvising them under pressure in week 1. Write them down, even if it's just for you, because when the first situation arises that tests your standards, you want to be executing a decision you already made, not making it in the moment in front of your team. The military calls this commander's intent. Know your intent before you're in charge. Item 6, build in a wait period on changes. Give yourself 30 days before making any structural or process changes. Not because the current way is right, it might not be, but because making changes before you fully understand the environment is how you destroy trust before you've even built it. Your team will interpret early changes as one of two things. You know something they don't, which could be scary for them, or you're just asserting your authority, which is worse. Either way, you pay a credibility cost you haven't earned back yet. Listen first, learn the context, understand the reasons behind the things you want to change, then change them. Changes made from a position of understanding land completely differently than changes made from impatience. Same change, different reception, entirely different outcome. Item 7, script your first team meeting. Not word for word, but structure and intent. What do you want them to know about how you operate? What do you want to learn from them? What tone do you want to set? Most managers wing this and it shows. They fill in dead air with filler, they over-explain their background, they say things like, I'm still learning 15 times when their team hears, I'm not ready. Your first meeting should be short, structured, and intentional. Introduce yourself in 2 minutes or less. Ask one question of the group that actually matters. Tell them how you prefer to communicate. Tell them you'll be meeting with each one of them one-on-one this week and on time. That's it. Short, specific, professional. It signals that your time and theirs mean something. 7 items. Map the people, understand the current mission, clarify your mandate, find the landmines, set your operating principles, hold off on early changes, and plan your first meeting. None of this is complicated. All of it requires intention, and almost no new manager does it, which is exactly why the ones who do stand out immediately.